Full coverage of the midterms here on BBC World News over the next 24 hours. Let's turn, though, to another hugely important story from Iraq, because at least 200 mass graves containing as many as 12,000 victims have been discovered in areas that had been controlled by the Islamic State group. This is being detailed in this report published today by the UN. Well, apologise, that's not loading, but it is online if you would like to find it. And in that report, we're told by the UN the mass grave sites documented are a testament to harrowing human loss, profound suffering and shocking cruelty. Now, this map we've marked with the different areas where the graves have been found, along with the numbers of graves that have been found. These are all areas that were seized by the Islamic State group from 2014 onwards. And this is interesting to show you. This is a map from January 2015. All of the red area shows you territory controlled by the Islamic State group in Iraq and in Syria. And just look how it goes as we move through the years. October 2016 on to July 2017, and then this is November 2018, with the Islamic State holding almost no territory. Well, I've been talking to Hadya Alawi from BBC Arabic on what we know about the thousands of people who have been found in these graves.
So it appears by the investigators that a lot of them were women, elderly, people with disabilities, foreign workers, and also security forces, Iraqi security forces. The number is between 6,000 and 12,000, so it's a huge number. We haven't seen anything on that scale in the last couple of years, although we've seen mass graves before, but it's nothing compared to this.
And does this tally with the number of people who are missing from the period of time that IS controlled this territory?
Yes, absolutely, because most of these graves were actually 95, in total there are 202, 95 of those have been found in Nineveh, which part of it is Mosul, which was controlled by IS for a really long time. We've seen the horrific stories that came out of that territory when it was controlled by IS. So yeah, absolutely, it actually coincides with the same period that IS was controlling that area.
Unfortunately, even though there's more horrific detail here from the UN, it's not really a surprise, is it?
It's not really a surprise, and as depressing that sounds, but in the last couple of years we have, as I mentioned, we have seen mass graves come out of different areas in Iraq and Syria, which has been controlled by IS. We've seen that also happen on larger scales in the northern part, and right now also in the western part of Iraq. However, there needs to the Iraqi government needs to respond to this on a scale which actually is on the same level as this horrific news coming out. So there needs to be a proper investigation into this.
But does the Iraqi government or the Iraqi security services or the Iraqi justice system have the capacity to even take this on in terms of bringing people to justice?
No, I think there needs to be some international help on this case, and I think also because of the large number of bodies that they found, it's going to be really difficult to exhume them. They don't have the resources, they don't have the expertise, and it's going to take a really long time to identify them and be in contact with their families. I mean, hundreds of families have been waiting to hear about the fate of their loved ones, but it's going to be a very, very difficult mission for the Iraqi government on its own.
Can I ask you more broadly about the territory that used to be controlled by IS, in particular Mosul? We used to talk a lot about efforts to seize back Mosul. We haven't talked so much since it was taken back.
Yeah.
How is life in the city? Is it gradually being rebuilt?
I mean, we're just seeing the aftermath of that whole period, the 3 years between 2014 and 2017 when IS was in control. This is part of it. It's the horrific killings and the mass murders and the terror that has happened during that period. It's gradually, slowly going back to normal, but I mean, you have to put normal into context of what's happening in Iraq right now. For us, probably in Europe, normal is quite different from what it is in Iraq. So it's progressing, but is it actually going back to normal? I'm not quite sure I can answer that.